Hello and welcome to a brand new series on the channel. This is American farming. Right, we are just making our way to our car parked just down the way here. We are on the lovely map of Taheton County. The detail is incredible. DR Modding has done quite a fantastic job indeed. Never been to Taheton County, but the detail of the map itself is astonishing. We are here in the small town. Just going to make our way over to the Dairy Queen here, which is where we've parked the car. Can you guess which car is mine? Is it the big truck? Nope. It's the Caprice. Right, let's get started. So, we are initially going to just make our way to the farm here. It's not too far away. Although I will admit this is a fairly large map, a 4x size map. The last American map that I did was Silver Run Forest, and that was a regular 1x map. Obviously a DLC map, of course, from Giants. But the American maps here that some of these modders are making are just absolutely incredible. And to be honest, there are some amazing ones, but this one just really stood out to me due to simply the details, and just it's not your average American sort of style map. But a few bits of detail as we make our way to the farm. So I have basically custom built this farm. There's so many great options for pre-built farms as well on this map, but I have opted to build my own. The thing is, the farms on this map are all quite large fields, which I don't mind, and I know that's very American to have a large field. Just gotta wait for the light to change. I think any moment now. Might just have to go through it ourselves. Oh, there we go. Brilliant. Right, so we are making our way to the farm. Yes, so the fields often are quite large for an American map, as you would expect, Canadian map as well. So I've actually found a nice little quaint spot that has some relatively sort of smaller scale fields nearby, because I didn't want to just go straight in with the big tractors and the big kit and the, whatever 50-meter drills and all that. Maybe in time, but I absolutely want to start on a more small scale sort of operation, which I tend to prefer when I play Euro and UK maps. This one though, I am so excited. It's actually taken me quite some time to put this one together. The build itself, as I say, is completely custom. It was initially all grassland and a bit of a field area, but when we arrive you'll see exactly what I've done to it, and I'm very, very pleased about the work that I've put in. As I say, beautiful landscape, very appropriate to the area. We are just going to turn here. So we do own a few fields round, but I will do a bit of a farm tour before we check out all of our fields as well. So a lot of the initial driving from one place to another I will do on camera. I won't jump cut or anything, because it would be nice to get a good feel for the area and the map and all that. This is definitely a heavy map, so there has been a few frame rate drops here and there. A bit of stuttering when you first load into the game, but in all honesty, it's just such a massive map that small little drops of frame rate and stuff like that are sort of to be expected, and really not all that bad. Right, we've taken this little dirt road far enough. We are going to turn in here to the farm. I haven't put any sort of signage up yet. Perhaps we can find a nice name for the farm, but here we are. Just take it nice and easy. So this field here on our left is one of ours. This is the closest field to us, location-wise, physically close fields, and substantial. Not massive, especially by American standards. It's not a very massive map, field, but it'll definitely get us started. We do have a few others around. So the first thing here we have is, I really wanted to do some proper American dairy farming. So here we have a nice American style freestall. Really excited to get the cows in there. Really happy with this particular barn as well. And then the placement of everything, as I say, I've completely done it myself. This was actually a field, but I've sacrificed it for the betterment of the cows. Right, oh, plane overhead. Right, as you can see there, we've got a silo. We'll go over what exactly all that is in a moment. Got a thrower rack there. But here we are at the farm itself. Again, I've put a lot of time into building this, but I'm very pleased about it. A little bit of a greenhouse here out front of the house there. We have a garage as well with our lovely pickup. On my right here, we do have some chickens. Well, we will have some chickens. Nice little chicken coop here. We also have in front of us a nice workshop shed area with a bit of kit in, and we'll go into more detail about all that. Here as well, we have some more kit in here. Just have a quick pop out. You can see, went for very pleased about the Alice. Went with the Alice Chalmers. We'll probably use a bit more Alice kit in the future here as well. The case, a lovely bit of kit. We'll get more into detail with that soon as well. And another bit of Alice there as well with the Gleaner. Right, okay, we'll look at all the kit here very soon. First, I just want to complete a bit of a farm tour before we crack on. Right, kit there as well. Just make our way up here. So, as you can see, we've got more kit here. We've got our bins, corn dryer and all that. In here we've got a bit of extra kit with our trailers and drills, but again we'll get more into detail with that soon as well. Come around this side. Nice trailer there. We've got the vintage auger set so we can fill and empty our bins, and a few silos for seed, fert and the like. So I'm very pleased with how this has turned out. I'm very excited about this series, and I wanted this to be just right, and I feel like I've really... I'm very pleased, is what I'm trying to say, about this build. So, we'll park up the car, and we should really get cracking, because we are in March, as you can see as well. So I have used the Start in Spring mod, which I thought was most appropriate for the series, because we can really get a few things started, especially since we don't have any food for animals just yet. I am just going to open this up here, go through here. As you can see, we've got a bit of kit in here as well. I really did want to get as much out of this as I could. As you can see as well, we start with £100,000, as if this is the new farmer variation, but I've definitely built all by hand, put all this together myself. I'm just going to reverse this in here actually, just to keep it out of the way. And we might use it for touring around. I would like to showcase more of the map as well. Just get that garage door shut. So this is our start. I'm very, very excited about it. And now I will show you the map. Right, so we'll save, of course, as you do. First thing we want to look at, of course, is our little area here. So, as you can see, we've got the farm here. You can see a small 70 where the cows are. That is where there was another field, but I've put the cows there. So we do own a few fields around. So this is our main area here. Area 35, so we have field 71 in there. Next to us here is area 40, which holds 72 and 73. Up the way here we have our, I believe our biggest field is 85, just up the road, but it does give us a nice option to be able to maneuver around, drive down some roads, see slightly different areas. You can see here 57, we did drive past it on the way here. Same with 32 down by the main road. So I think that that is a really nice collection of smaller fields that we can start with, and then eventually, who knows, we might expand into bigger fields. We might there are some really nice bigger fields around that we can work with, so we'll definitely be looking at all of those in the future. But the first thing we want to do is look at what we need to drill, so we'll do that right now. Right, so this is our crop calendar. As you can see, we have many things that we can plant starting in March, starting this month, but there are only two that we actually want to do. The first one is wheat, of course. We have chickens to feed, and the cows also do require some sort of grain as well. Not only that, but we can turn wheat, or any crop really, specifically I'll probably use wheat for it because it does go the farthest, for mineral feed, which we also need to use to feed the cows. The other crop I want to put in this month is alfalfa. We are going to use alfalfa for mostly for hay, but we can feed some fresh alfalfa as a moisture food. So I have actually gone in, and as you can see here, we've got the chicken barn and the cow in the chicken barn, of course, but I have made a few edits to the feeding. So here we have the cow food. So I was going to use a mixer, but I decided that the way that the cow farm that I've added is set up, it makes more sense to do it this way, and I just prefer parallel feeding anyway. So 40% of their overall total food is silage or TMR. So we can make TMR, but we might as well just feed it straight silage, although TMR would help to reduce the amount of silage we're using, so we still could get a mixer, but it would only be used for a small percentage of their food. So we'll look at that in the future as well. Roughage here is hay or alfalfa hay, so we will drill the alfalfa in and get that most out of there. Here we have for moisture food, potato, sugar beet cut, and I've added in fresh alfalfa, just as an option, of course. I was also thinking of adding in corn as another option here, but that's absolutely fine with what we have. Mineral feed, canola, and soybeans as power food. So we aren't going to put... We are not going to put canola or soybeans in this first year, but we can make mineral feed from the wheat. That's the plan. Down here at chickens, I have edited this quite a bit. Instead of keeping it sequential with 1, so instead of this saying 1.0, like it does for sheep, it says 1 here, and then they have, you can give grass, alfalfa, hay, whatever, and it counts as 1. Here, I've broken it up to be a bit more complex. So half of their food requirements are grain, which is the wheat, rye, and barley. So we are going to put in wheat first, and then I've added in as a base food option where we can feed them corn, sorghum, and soybeans. And then down here for moisture food, which again is something I've just added in, they have the same options as the cows: potato, sugar beet cut, or alfalfa. So we will start with alfalfa, but we have the option to add in potatoes, and we'll probably do a potato harvest as well, store them somewhere, and then we can feed that to the chickens and the cows. So looking again at our map, we will see that we're not going to buy any animals until we have the food. Absolutely not, because the money that we have to essentially conserve that, because we'll probably need it for seed, for fertilizer, for lime, for all that, because we do have precision farming as well. So we also need to buy the field information for our little fields. So the first one we're going to start with, I think putting in alfalfa first would be the best option, because we can put in wheat again in April, but the alfalfa, if we put it in first, it'll start growing just that much quicker, and then we can get started and we can get hay and fresh alfalfa done, as you know, both of them, get those into storage. So I think we're going to put alfalfa in 72. I like it because it's a bit longer of a field. I suppose you could say that about 85, but 85 I think I'm going to save for wheat. So 72 and 85 would be the two I'd like to get started on today. So let's go into our precision farming category here, and let's get the soil information purchase. So 2,500 for that. 85 here is going to cost us 1,500. We'll go down to this area here. It's probably going to be fairly expensive. Oh no, it's not bad. Just under 1,000, under 800 actually. This small one here is probably, yeah, 435, and then field 32 down at the bottom, under £800. So we have all the field information, and we've spent about £6,000 on the information, which is fine, because we don't have to do that all that often. Now, looking at the fields, it seems we've done all right as far as potential. These ones are all right, not great. For the most part, though, it seems that we have pretty good yield potential from all the fields. So I think the first thing we're going to do is drill in some alfalfa. So let's have a look here and see. Anything in the sales we can start with? No, that's fine. So yes, this is all the kit that we have started. We have a really nice starting point for all the kit, and I've added things in that I normally wouldn't use. Like, I don't know, I will go through them and figure them out. But we do have, for small tractors, we have this little one here. Really nice for around the farm. Excited to use that. We've also got the Alice, which I'm very excited to use as well. And the Case 7150. Definitely our biggest tractor on the farm. Now, we'll go to drills, because I'll show you the one we have. So we do have these here. Luckily, they are no-till drills, and they do go together. They are a tandem drilling operation, which is pretty wicked. Now, it does say 85 horsepower, so I imagine that that's 85 horsepower for each one. So, of course, that puts us, we should probably have a tractor at about 200 horsepower. So I think that the Case will be the one that we'll use to start. So, and we've got the duals on there, so that will really help with it as well. But yes, we've got some really nice kit we can dig into here very soon. But first things first, we've got to drill in some grass. So we will switch this over to... Well, we'll start in 3 times and we'll see how that goes. Because sometimes with a new series, I never know exactly what the best option is for the time. Usually 5 times is what I like to start with, but we'll see if that's best for this series or not. This big machine here behind is a corn dryer. So when we harvest, plant and harvest our corn, we will most likely be using most of it to dry, and then we can use some for feed as well, but again, it's mostly going to be as making cash for the farm. We'll just get all set up here. Right. There we go. So as you can see, we have no seed, no fertilizer, nothing. In fact, I've already made a mistake. We have to lime the field. We have to at least check to see what it requires. But before we do that, we're just going to go over here and get set up to fill these up. But I think we really should have a look at our fields here. We can actually just hop down to 72. It should be just right there, if I'm not mistaken. Get our map out. There we go. Map of the area. Nice. Here we are. So everything is rubbish. The pH is awful. Nitrogen, absolutely nothing. I really am going to focus on... I mean, with precision farming, of course, we'll use as much of the cows' manure as possible, manure and slurry and all that. Perhaps we can turn it into digestate somehow. We'll look into that as well, but we don't even have the cows, so I'm not worried about it. We have fertilizer we can use to maximize our yields. Right, we'll leave this here. We're actually going to be starting in the Alice today, because we have to get the pH down first. So, those silos over there, they are silos you can have seeds and fertilizer and all that delivered, which is really handy for a map like this. Especially with this, when I'm used to the small scale, I tend to... I'm just going to close that for now. I tend to just run to the shop when I need something, but we're so far from the shop that I wanted to have that as an option for us. Yes, we could head down there, pick up items, so on and so forth, but I'd much rather have them delivered and pay a bit of a premium for that service. Right, so we've got our Wilmar spreader here. We are going to fill this with lime. Just going to have to buy some lime first. So as far as how this series is going to go, I haven't fully decided how it is going to go. As far as the schedule, it is going to be on Fridays now. No Euro Trucking series anymore. I'm going to figure out how to turn that into a live stream series. So I'm working on the logistics of that. I was just too bloody excited to crack on with another farm sim series. Okay, so this one here is a liquid tank. This one's for solid. So yes, we do need this one here. I don't... Oh, there we go. So we will have delivered a load of lime. We don't need 60,000 litres though. We might, but we'll start with 10,000 and see how far that takes us. Again, I'm almost certain we are paying a bit of a premium here to have these on the farm. But again, it's part of it. It's really not a big problem. And for how often we're going to have to come back and get stuff filled up, it's really not a big issue. So we'll get that. Oh no, yeah, that's the right one there. So we'll start filling it up with lime. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now I don't know actually if I can use... It would be cool if I could use the augers for that. I haven't thought... No, maybe not for lime. No, we'll save those for grain, absolutely. Right, we are all set. Yes, we'll save those for... keep that open. For grain and corn specifically for emptying and filling. Oh no, that's problematic. Might have to get a... might have to get a front weight on. Is it not going to handle this? Maybe we need rear weights. Come on, Alice. That is problematic. Maybe we should use the case as well for this job. Right, I wasn't really expecting that. Right, okay, we're gonna... well, we'll leave this here for now. I wonder if we should just add some rear weights. Let's take this to the shop and just see what would be the best option. Already something to work on. Now if we're right here, this should be fine. Hopefully the freight line is not too far in the way. Let's pop around the John Deere here. Yeah, that tractor will be very handy for this one here. Would be really handy for running the augers when it comes time to unloading and loading the bins. Right, rear, so we can add the rear wheel setup for only 3,500. I suppose I could have done that before as well, but I really don't want to. Do we have... I don't even know if that's the issue. I feel like it's just light on the front. So maybe instead of that... maybe the wider front tires might help. But we could also consider adding on a front weight, which I think might be the option, because that's what seems to be spinning. Or is it the... don't know. Let's try the case first. I know it's all hooked up to the drill, but let's give the case a go just to see. I'm just going to tuck this here for now, just to the side. Let's go and find the case. There we are. This is meant to be our bigger sort of tractor as well. So as far as doing bigger jobs, heavier jobs, this will be the go-to machine. Until, of course, we upgrade to a much bigger, large tractor. But I don't think we need it straight away. I really wanted to keep this as small scale as I, could, while being realistic to the environment. So I feel like this will be so much better here. We'll just manage a bit of a tour around. In fact, let's go this way and I can showcase what's on this side. Nothing really, but we can. We have a bale storage here, which is really handy. We've got the fermenting silo, so that's going to be for getting silage ready for the cows. But I've given a nice space around so we can drive through here, and yeah, very, very pleased about how all this has turned out. Really excited about it. Even for this tractor, this is very heavy, the Wilmar. I have added the extension on. I believe the base capacity is 6,000, but I've added it to 8,000, which we'll need, especially for all this initial liming that we're doing with precision farming. Right. So this is the field we're starting with today. So let's get straight in. I don't know what the width is on here. We will open the map, because I do like having it open while we tend to. Wow, yep, we've got lots of distance to cover there. Am I missing a whole section? Oh no, it's going. It's very dusty. I wonder if that's just me, or is the lime flickering as well? I don't think I have the dusty mod enabled. I might have to enable it and reduce it, because it is very dusty and it's causing what looks like a bit of a flickering issue. But again, this map is very intense, very heavy, due to all that is involved with. It's a very, very big map. So yeah, there's bound to be some sort of performance and, you know, little issues like that, and it's fairly new being released as well. So certainly there's going to be some things that have to be worked on, which is absolutely understandable. And for what it is now, bloody Nora, it is wonderful. Right. We're making some serious progress, at least. I think at this rate, we might be able to get the wheat and the alfalfa dealt with in this month, because we still have to roll. We still have to roll both fields as well. So we have to lime, we have to drill, but I believe that the drill can hold fertilizer, so that's really good for this first run. And then drill and roll, that's really it. So if we can get that done in March, because we do have a very busy April, very, very busy indeed, between all the corn, silage corn that we want to drill, sorghum as well that we need to drill, plant the corn, sorry. There we go. Wonderful. So I think what I'll do is I will crack on with a time-lapse, because we are going to get this field done, and I am going to head over to field 85, which is our northmost field. Really nice area over there, so I will include that in the time-lapse, and I'll get the rest of this field done, which I nearly are done, and then we'll get that one done as well. There we go. We have all the lime done. There's just a couple small areas here I did miss, but I will go back, try and fill them up if they can be. Usually with precision farming you do get a bit of a leeway on things, which is quite nice. Because yeah, like this section here on the map doesn't show, but it does probably show, but it's not really using lime either. So anyways, there we have it. So we can get out and have a look and see that pH value is perfect in this field. It will be perfect in that field as well, and really pleased with the case 7150 straight away. This setup is amazing. I can't wait to use all the different setups of all the different kits. It's just going to be so good, so good. See, I haven't fully decided on the schedule of everything I briefly mentioned earlier, because it will be Friday certainly, and I'll sort out how we're going to do Euro Trucking and that in the future, because I would like to do a live stream of that. I would like to continue my journey that I've started on Euro Trucking, but I wasn't enjoying it as much as a series. I think it would do better as a live stream, and I've never really live streamed, so it almost feels like perfect opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, we are going to head back to the farm here, and we'll swap out this Wilmar spreader for the John Deere drills, and we can get some alfalfa in and some wheat as well. Alright, we're back here at the farm, and we'll get hooked up once again to the John Deere tandem drills. These box drills, which are brilliant drills, absolutely brilliant. Now, we do have the option to add lime in here, which we already have, but I also think we can add solid fertilizer. So I think we'll go ahead and get, you know what, let's do it. Let's do, because it does go quite far, doesn't it? Let's do 5,000 and see how far 5,000 litres of fertilizer gets us. Especially with precision farming, I don't think it'll be all that bad. This is a liquid tanker, so that will be for liquid fertilizer and herbicide when we eventually need it. This little one here is for seed. And we can buy mineral feed, but we are going to make it ourselves. So for seed, let's do 10,000 of the seed, because we know we will need it eventually. Same with fertilizer, to be honest, but anyways, let's get started here. We do have to fill these drills individually, so we'll see how this works. So get that opened if we can. Now, can we not? Maybe it can't reach. Right, these can be a bit troublesome to reverse as well. I'm going to try and come in at the right angle. Ooh. Okay, we can get seed in the first one there. That's great. Let's get seed in the second one if we can do. Brilliant. I'll try and reverse here. Yeah, this is going to be the only troublesome part, I suppose. Go. I'll try. Oh, bloody hell. Let's try this again. Let's try and get nice and close. I'm pretty sure the trigger's about there, but I don't think... No, just not close enough. Let's see if we've given ourselves enough room to maneuver here. Have done. Happy days. I think we're just going to come in at the right angle, considering that... yeah, these are a bit difficult to maneuver. That should be bang on the money. Oh, no. Can we not fill it? Hang on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay, it's literally in the... Oh, maybe, hang on. Oh, you silly bugger. Let's open the right thing, shall we? What a muppet. Alright, there we go. We've got that sorted. Now this one here is stuck, but we'll get that sorted as well. Should be a matter of... So these aren't articulated or anything, but they can still be a bit of a bugger to deal with. But they do seem to reverse not terribly together. So yeah, but I figured the best place for them is still in the Quonset. I believe that's what this here is called. If I'm mistaken, it's either from an old Métis or Algonquin word for, I believe it was long and narrow. So that's what these are. These are wicked sheds. Absolutely wicked. Very American as well, from my understanding. But yeah, we have here the forage box as well. So anything that would be a bit difficult to reverse, whether it's articulated or tandem, that's why they will be stored in there. Really like those sheds. Really, really like them. In the future, we might be able to place one as a field shed as well. They are brilliant. Okay, before we crack on, let's make absolute certain here that we have this set to alfalfa. Nice. So I think they're both... Yes, okay, good. So they're both set the same, which is brilliant. And there we go. So we'll head to the field and get started. Right, so we are in the field in which alfalfa shall be drilled. So let's get this folded up, because I know there's quite the process here. Look at that. So it pulls it along the front. Oh, I think we need to be a bit more... There we go. Straighten out. And then it kind of puts it together there. It's quite ingenious actually how it works, because then it basically becomes one massive drill that's perfectly pushed together, and then it does work as one unit once it is together, which is really, really nice. Right, so we'll just hop into the field here and we can see pH value is perfect, which is great with all that lime we did, and nitrogen is not, and we don't have any crop in anyways, so now we can get it started. So we'll lower down. Now I think they work as one at this point. No, do they? Let's find out. Nice, they are both there. Let's go to here and fire it up and see how it goes. So they should both be drilling. They are in fact both drilling, and yeah, they do stick together and create a nice... Yeah, we'll get this open as well. And it doesn't really show anything for nitrogen, unless alfalfa doesn't require, or it's just such a small amount. Oh yeah, I guess it is. It'll be just such a small amount of nitrogen required. Maybe it's because it's alfalfa. Again, with precision farming, there are some variations like that. We don't have any seed rate for alfalfa, unfortunately. We will for the other crops, for wheat and that. But for alfalfa, we don't. Again, maybe it's because it's a crop that gets planted in and left. Same for the nitrogen. So in the future, we will spread fertilizer on the crop. Actually, that's what would be really nice for manure and slurry, is to use it on our alfalfa crops. Or grass in the future as well. It looks like we're able to dig into the side a bit there. Maybe we can extend part of the field in the future. I think that's something I'd like to do, because there are lots of trees around that we own in the areas that we own, but it would be nice to look into extending some of the fields that we have in appropriate ways, in ways that we can. So I don't know if that's what's happening here or not, but nevertheless, we will get that. Let's see how reversing this goes. Nice, not too bad at all. And really, this might even be more of a slow pace. I mean, it is always a slow pace with my series, because I like to keep it that way. I like to keep it slow paced and more realistic and that. And yeah, hopefully that is well, oh my, what's going on there? I've turned you off, mate. Well, we're still figuring it all out. Okay, now they're both... Okay, they're both down and they're both on. And I think we're doing it. Nice. Now I think also if I hold shift and go V, that should lift both. Ah, right, so you have to have the tractor selected and then it... maybe not. Well, nevertheless, let's crack on with this. Once we get the alfalfa all done in this field, which by the looks of it won't take very long at all, with our 9-meter drill, then we will head over to the wheat field, get the wheat drilled in as well. Alright, so we have just finished drilling the alfalfa, which is fantastic. Now, the thing I've noticed with this drill is you need to be very cautious about when you lift and when you put it down, because I have noticed that when you lift it up, you have to make certain you're lifting both of them, otherwise you will continue to fertilize, I've noticed. The solid fertilizer was going down little by little. Now, as far as getting to the other field, we probably should do a bit of folding up here. So we'll get that sorted. There we go. Now, let's just have a quick look at our roller and its configuration. 100 horsepower, so we really should have no problems with it with the Alice. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this down over to the other field, get it ready to be drilled, but we will probably focus on drilling in the wheat in the next episode, just because although it is 9 meters and the fields are, again, relatively small, for the kit and for America. I think we'll focus on the drilling of the wheat in the next episode. Now, also, I think based off the way that we've been going, we're doing really good for time. So at the beginning of the next episode, we will also probably increase time to 5 times. So it's at 3 right now, and I'll probably keep it at 3 for the rest of this episode, just to get a feel for it. We did start later on in the month as well. Usually we start the day at 7 or 8 or 9, but it was about 11:30, nearly noon by the time we got back to the farm. So I think that's pretty good for time so far. Now, I've noticed as well, there's a small path here that leads to, I believe, nothing. It's just an empty area, so that's another sort of area we could look at converting into a field. Because as I say, there are lots of trees around, but sometimes they're there because of the inconsistency in the terrain. So it can be quite hilly or quite bumpy or whatever. That's why there's trees there versus crop. Anyways, we are going to leave the case here. Now that we're back at the farm, we'll hop into the Alice. And before the end of the episode, I would like to at least give it a job to do. So as you can see, we've got our nice roller there. Now, I have tried to go... I was tempted to do essentially like a vintage American farming series, but that's a bit difficult to do based on some of the kit. I think I did really well for an older series. All this kit is relatively more on the vintage side. I did try and stick with, older kit. So that's kind of the hope. If there are things here that are definitely not vintage or not older, it's fine because it's really not meant to be. But I was trying to make this farm at least as vintagey feel as possible. Which is why I started with the smaller, older kit. Like, for example, this Alice, I have it spec'd out at the oldest possible, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 1973, something like that. And this roller had the option for pre-2000s design or post-2000, so I went with the little things like that, because it can only do so much, especially for the vintagey stuff. So we'll see how this all goes. But yeah, this is a very nice roller indeed. I've never used it, but it's got a nice width on it. It's a good opportunity to get it started, and we can get the Alice in the field as well. Oh yes, love a nicely rolled field. Can't really tell where we've been, but we will have a quick look before we crack on at the map, just to see how we're getting on. Yes, it does take a moment to save because it is a massive map, I have to stress again. Here, let's have a look at it, by the way. So this is the map. It is massive, absolutely massive, yes. Iowa, that's where we are. So as I said, DR modding, check it out, PC only. Very, very amazing map. So we started somewhere over here in the small town, and I believe it's just the one town, but there is a small area here. The shop is all the way up here. As you can see, there's a cow barn there, there's a horse barn there, there's lots of other farms around. A big train, as you would have seen in the intro. And yes, we have our small little slice of paradise in Iowa here. And let's get a closer look at our fields here. Get zoomed in on it and see that it does require rolling, but it's getting tended to. Happy days. Look at that. Nice. So yes, it might be a bit difficult to see the one direction, but once we go in the other direction, it should be a bit easier to see where we've been. It's just very peaceful as well. I mean, especially once all the trees, they're still coming out of their wintry state, since we are in early spring. But I'm very pleased that I started in spring, because any later, I mean, we might have had crops in that were ready to harvest, but I wanted to start with this part of the process versus doing a harvest first, and then, you know, getting crops ready for winter. I wanted to do spring crops first, give us an opportunity to get started, plus that does leave us a bit closer to starting with animals in the winter, versus had we not had any crops to harvest, we may not have been able to start with animals until the next winter. So yeah, really wanted to do that. Very pleased that I have done, and very pleased with how things are going so far. Definitely took a bit longer to drill this field than I expected, especially with the once I figured out that the drill does need to be raised twice to ensure that you're not drilling fertilizer where you've already done it. So it was still taken away. Probably lost about 10 or so litres, maybe 20 litres of fertilizer, which isn't much. But yes, we did lose a bit in figuring that out, but now we know. And it is nice because it is a no-till drill. This field was already cultivated, if I'm not mistaken, but for the future it will be very handy indeed to be able to not have to worry about tilling in the ground or cultivating. We do have a cultivator, but yeah, it's quite small, so it's mostly for field creation and all that as well. But I'm rambling and rolling, and we will crack on with a time lapse and get it done. Right, well there we are, just completing the rolling and done. Fantastic. We'll have a look at the map, of course, to ensure that it is done. It is done. Really, really happy about that. Now, bloody deer, don't know why, like, they keep running at me. I was you can see in the time lapse, like this one in particular is like chasing the drill or chasing the roller and then running into the roller. Silly deer. Right, rolling is all done. Happy days about that. We'll just tuck the tractor to the side. We will bring it down to the wheat field once that gets all done. But I reckon a nice Alice in view here with the lovely little pond we have and the beautifully rolled, drilled alfalfa, which is going to yield very nicely indeed. Whoa. Mad lad in the plane. Fantastic. Yes, I'm very pleased with this series so far. I hope you've enjoyed episode 1. As I say, schedule-wise, it's going to remain on Fridays. If you like it, let me know. I'll try and sort it into a 2-episode-a-week series. I would like to do that, but we shall see how time permits and all. So, thank you so much for watching episode 1 of American Farming. Please do let me know what you think, your feedbacks, comments, all that. It does really help out. And if you did enjoy the video, a cheeky thumbs up really helps out as well. And please subscribe. So until the next one, please do take care and bye for now.